The morning started like any other episode of Today with Jenna and friends, with bright lights, cheerful music, and an audience ready to clap on cue. Carrie Underwood, dressed in a sleek emerald green outfit and flashing her famous smile, walked onto the set to promote her latest album. Jenna Hager greeted her warmly, but there was already an undercurrent of tension. The two had exchanged awkward comments in the green room about country music's direction, and Carrie's sharp reply. As they sat down, Jenna glanced at her co-host with a half-forced grin, ready to dive into the interview. But Carrie's body language suggested the conversation was about to veer off script. The first few minutes went smoothly, with questions about Carrie's tours, her new single, and her charity work. But then Jenna leaned in and said, "Some critics say your style hasn't evolved much over the years. Do you think you're playing it safe?" The audience let out a collective gasp. Carrie's smile tightened. "Safe," she repeated, raising an eyebrow. "I call it staying true to myself. Maybe some people are too busy chasing trends to understand that." Jenna tried to laugh it off, but the sting was obvious, and the cameras caught her blinking faster than usual, a telltale sign she was rattled. Instead of moving to a lighter topic. Jenna pressed on, "But don't you think in today's music, world artists need to reinvent themselves to stay relevant?" Carrie's tone sharpened. "Relevance isn't measured by how many gimmicks you can pull in a year. Jenna, it's about connecting with people, not selling out for clicks." The audience clapped loudly, but the applause was mixed with nervous murmurs. The tension was thick, and even Jenna's co-hosts exchanged uneasy glances, as if silently debating whether to step in. The conversation then shifted to Carrie's outspoken views on certain industry trends. Jenna brought up a recent award show, where Carrie had skipped the red carpet, hinting it was a missed opportunity for publicity. Carrie's voice dropped an octave, her southern charm now edged with steel. "I don't need a red carpet to make headlines, Jenna. My work speaks for itself. Some people might need other ways to stay in the spotlight." The implication was clear, and Jenna's smile faltered. Viewers at home could almost hear the invisible line being crossed. A producer tried signaling for a commercial break, but the verbal jousting continued. Jenna attempted to regain control by bringing up a past controversy involving one of Carrie's music videos. "Some said it was too traditional," she began, but Carrie cut her off. "And yet, it went platinum. Funny how that works." The crowd roared, half in support, half in shock. At this point, even the camera operators seemed unsure where to focus, caught between Jenna's forced composure and Carrie's unflinching glare. Things reached a breaking point when Jenna made what seemed like an offhand comment. "Well, some people might say you don't take criticism well." Carrie leaned forward, her voice calm but loaded. "And some people might say, you ask questions you're not ready for the answers to." The silence that followed was deafening. Carrie then stood up, removed her microphone, and set it gently on the coffee table. Without looking back, she walked off the set, her heels clicking sharply against the floor. The audience gasped, and Jenna sat frozen, gripping her cue cards. As the cameras cut to a hastily improvised commercial break. Whispers filled the studio. Some audience members tried to catch a glimpse of Carrie backstage, but she had already swept past the crew and out the side door. Staffers scrambled to figure out how to proceed, while Jenna sat in her chair, slowly regaining her composure. The break was extended twice as producers frantically discussed damage control. When the show returned, Jenna addressed the viewers directly, her voice calm but slightly strained. "Well, live TV is unpredictable," she said with a practiced smile. "We love Carrie and wish her all the best." She moved on to the next segment, but the awkwardness lingered in every frame. Social media was already ablaze, with hashtag Carrie vs Jenna and hashtag Country Clash trending within minutes. By the afternoon, clips of the confrontation had gone viral. Fans took sides, with some praising Carrie for standing her ground, and others accusing her of overreacting. Industry insiders speculated that Jenna's pointed questions were intentionally provocative to stir up buzz for the show. Carrie's team released a short statement. Carrie Underwood remains committed to her music and her fans. She will not participate in conversations that diminish her artistry. The wording was diplomatic, but the message was clear. Asterisk in the days that followed, invitations for both women to comment further poured in from talk shows, podcasts, and news outlets. Neither accepted, at least not immediately. But the clash had already cemented itself as one of the most talked about daytime TV moments of the year. Whether it was a genuine breakdown in rapport or a calculated PR spark, the world couldn't stop watching, replaying, and debating that unforgettable morning. When Carrie Underwood walked off today with Jenna and friends and left daytime television, buzzing. 3 weeks after the blow-up on Today with Jenna and friends. The entertainment world buzzed again as both Carrie Underwood and Jenna Hager were announced as presenters at the Country Music Awards. Industry insiders whispered that the producers were secretly thrilled after all. Nothing boosted ratings like unresolved drama. Backstage, the air was electric. Carrie arrived first, her silver gown shimmering under the spotlights, every detail perfect. She kept her gaze forward, ignoring the murmured greetings from crew members who clearly wanted a reaction. Then Jenna appeared, in a bold crimson dress, her smile wide for the cameras but her eyes flickering when she caught sight of Carrie across the green room. Crew members subtly shifted their positions as if instinctively aware they were in the blast radius of something unpredictable. Asterisk, their first meeting of the night was unplanned. Carrie stepped out of the dressing area just as Jenna was being mic'd up for her segment. They locked eyes just for a moment, but the tension was instant, thick, almost tangible. Jenna's hand twitched toward her cue cards as if to anchor herself. Carrie, without breaking her gaze, simply nodded once, a polite but pointed acknowledgement, before walking past. A nearby stylist later admitted in a hushed interview that she could feel the temperature drop 10 degrees. In that hallway, asterisk, during the ceremony, their names were announced as co-presenters for the Best New Artist Award. The audience roared, but the collective in hell backstage was almost comical. Carrie walked out first, her heels clicking like a drumbeat, followed by Jenna, who plastered on her most TV-perfect grin. They stood side by side at the podium, and for a fleeting second, both women's smiles looked almost genuine. But then Jenna, reading from the teleprompter, added a subtle ad-lib, and here to prove that even tradition can stay relevant. She gestured toward Carrie with just a hint of emphasis. The crowd laughed lightly, but Carrie's jaw tightened. Asterisk, Carrie didn't miss a beat. "Well, Jenna," she replied smoothly, "I guess some things never go out of style, like asking the wrong questions at the wrong time." The audience erupted in mixed laughter and gasps, and the cameraman instinctively zoomed in on Jenna's frozen smile. It was daytime TV, déjà vu, except now it was live on primetime, and millions were watching in real time. They announced the winner with forced cheerfulness, but as soon as they exited the stage, the energy between them snapped taut again. Backstage, producers hovered nearby like nervous lifeguards at a pool party gone wrong. Jenna tried breaking the ice. "You know, Carrie, we could end this whole thing with a laugh." Carrie looked at her for a long moment, then replied, "Some things aren't funny, Jenna." She turned and walked toward the VIP lounge, her gown trailing like a silver wave. Jenna exhaled sharply, muttering something under her breath that a nearby boom mic almost but not quite caught. Asterisk, paparazzi caught both women leaving the venue hours later, each with their own entourage. Carrie stopped briefly to sign autographs, answering a reporter's question with, "I'm here to celebrate music, not drama." Jenna, when asked about the tension, simply said, "Live TV has its moments." That's all I'll say. But the clips from the podium exchange had already gone viral before either of them got home, with fans dissecting every look, every tone, every micro-dash expression, asterisk, by the next morning. Morning shows and entertainment blogs were running comparisons of their CMA encounter and the original Today walk-off. Headlines screamed Carrie versus Jenna 2.0, and the feud goes primetime hashtags exploded again, and fans on both sides flooded comment sections with theories about who was in the right. Even late-night hosts couldn't resist adding jokes to their monologues. Behind the scenes, induced her why insiders debated whether this ongoing tension was genuine animosity or quietly orchestrated. PR. Some believed Carrie was simply done with what she saw as disrespect, while others suspected that producers on both sides knew exactly how much buzz the feud created. A leaked email from a network exec reportedly read, if this continues. We could have them headline a joint special and break ratings records. Neither woman confirmed any.